Blessings, family. Came on this evening to talk to you all as I have these random thoughts, right? Maybe that's what I should start naming my video. But the name of this video is based on me having a thought about, you hear people talk about this spiritual change when they hit the continent, right? So the question that came to me was like, okay, you have this spiritual change that leads you to the continent. You get your feet on the ground. What do you do? Are you bringing Western ways with you? Are you starting a new journey that will not only affect you, but the lives of people that you encounter on the continent? Are you limiting yourself to only associating with people who might be from the diaspora? Or are you limiting yourself and only associating with African Americans? Or only people from the UK? Or only diasporans from Europe? I think that's something to think about because I don't know that we think about that. We talk about some people cry when they get on a continent. Some people feel a spiritual surge of energy when they get on a continent. And some people are not really sure what they feel, but they talk about smells, right? The smell of a sweet aroma like incense or something that their grandmother used to burn when she was burning wood back in the day. Um, some people are filled with the cleanest air that they feel like they've ever breathed. I think that ever took a breath of. That's better. And then some people talk about Mother Africa embracing them in a way that they don't even have words for, right? They will drop to their knees, kiss the ground, and some people just feel lighter, like burdens have been lifted, right? I was in a chat once and someone said that, the children of the diaspora need to come home and run into the arms of Mother Africa. And I said to myself, see, this person who's saying this probably isn't a child of the diaspora. They're probably someone who lives on a continent. But I know from most of the people that I've spoken to, you don't have to run anywhere. When you come home, Mother Africa embraces you. She wraps her ever extending arms around you and lets you know, like, you where you're supposed to be. And that's hard for some people to understand. And I get it because if it hasn't happened to you, you wouldn't understand it. And I wouldn't expect you to. All you can do is appreciate other people's perceptions and experiences with that, right? So I know for me, when I went home, this journey was about making contacts, making connections, right? So anybody that I came in contact with that I just thought was amazing, whether it was a child dancing because I was playing some music and they responded to it, or a beautiful elder that had skin like velvet and wisdom to boot, right? They just were beautiful to me. And so, in all that beauty, um, I saw myself, I saw my ancestors, um, and I wanted to know more. So, it definitely was educational for me. And I wanted to share the talents of all these amazing people that I met. Like, I couldn't believe they didn't have a spotlight on them. Like, my thing was, you are so amazing that everyone needs to know about you. So I wanted to, I wanted to interview them and I wanted to talk with them and I wanted to make sure that anyone who was doing business would look for this person and know how amazing they were. And if I was making business contacts, I wanted to share those contacts. So I know that I'm not one of those people that suffers from a crab in a barrel syndrome. When I see people shine, I feel like I automatically shine. I don't need to dim someone else's light to feel like I'm better than them. You know, I feel like if I'm shining, you gonna shine too. If I can look out for you, I'm gonna look out for you. I'm just naturally that way. But what I've come to realize is that a lot of people aren't. When they see you shining, they feel like they gotta one up you. That's what we call that crabs in a barrel syndrome. And if you know anything about the crabs in the barrel syndrome, none of the crabs can get out because they all grabbing on each other, pulling each other down. And we got to get out of that. We got to move collectively. If those crabs would think, let me stand on it, I'm going to climb up and stand on your shoulder. And the one from the bottom, you're going to climb up and stand on this one's shoulder and go and go and go until you get to the top. And then you're going to reach back and pull everybody else up till we get everybody out. That's what I hope to do when I get to the continent. So you on your way to the continent, you need to think about what you're going to do when you get there. Right? And then the flip side of that is if you're not on your way to the continent, what are you doing here? Maybe you're okay here, and that's cool. But you still may want to have some connection with the motherland, and you can do that. You can support your brothers and sisters that are going, right? You can get a vacation house there. You can support projects there. You can start a legacy on a continent that you might not have been able to start here. You could have a school named after you, but you got to do that with people you trust and people that are building, right? So I guess my question goes back to what are you doing once you put your feet on a continent, and what are you doing when you bring them back? So I'm back in the States and I'm still recording because I'm going back again. I'm still recording because I'm still connecting with the same people I met there. If you all remember, I did a video with the councilman at the Eco Lodge. I'm talking to people and I'm trying to get folks rounded up to come to the Eco Lodge. So when I'm there, I can show them around. We can make moves, get them familiar with the continent, at least that country, Gambia, introduce them to some of the amazing people I've met, let them have the experience that I've had. And I'll be helping those families that I met, right? Then we had the councilman, we had the artist. Got to go back to the art centers, right? All of those artists that I featured, I want to go back. I want to spend more time with them. I want to know more about how they came to do what they did. That's just me. That's just my curiosity. Um, then there's people who have been on a continent, right? And they're not highlighting these folks. They're kind of moving in silence and they're not associating with other people, and they're very secretive about what they do. And I get it, some people don't want their business on YouTube, but I do hope if they're not doing anything else that they're making connections in their immediate communities. If they're doing that, then it's cool. But I just hope that people are not going back to the continent with Western ways, like we are individuals and we can't move collectively and you can only depend on yourself. And I mean, when it comes down to it, you're going to depend on yourself because you're the one that's going to make these things happen. But the difference on the continent is that people move collectively. We are more powerful when we move collectively. And that is something that I appreciate and I respect. Moving collectively, not moving as an individual, because you are not alone. Even when you think you're alone, your ancestors' DNA is with you. Your higher power is with you. You're never alone. So to think you're alone is almost like, you're not acknowledging that there's a creator, that you have your ancestors' DNA. You didn't get here by yourself, right? I know that, I lost my mom not so long ago, but I don't feel like she's not here. There's times I miss the physical, but I still speak out, right? I still meditate. I still send prayers up. So we are never walking alone. People choose to walk alone, and there's a difference. There's a difference, you know? So I just want y'all to think about that. Everybody's so eager to get home. Okay. And you got home. Now what you doing with it? You got back. What you doing with it? I'm still maintaining my contacts. I'm still working on a little projects that I want to get started. And that was the whole point of me going home, was to figure out how I was going to get back to the continent and be able to sustain, maintain myself, right? And how I'm going to be able to switch my businesses over and what I need to get in order here so I can get up out of here. All of that's important. So, just some food for thought. I like to have y'all think a little bit about what your intentions are and how you plan to proceed, because it's important. And I don't know that we think about that. We just think about the beauty when we get home, but we know there's pros and cons, and that we need to have a plan about how we're going to proceed. So, blessings, family. Once again, always good to see you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay strong, stay resilient, make your way home.